welcome to the deep dive. Earnings calls are usually, well, they're meticulously dry, right? Just a recap of the last 90 days.
Very formulaic, yeah.
But sometimes a CEO gets up and uses that platform for something more. Not just to talk revenue, but to announce a huge strategic pivot and, more importantly, reveal some real-time market-shifting news.
It's pretty rare. You don't often hear a plan for the next year laid out so clearly. Most companies bury that kind of strategy, but Justin Schreiber, the CEO of LifeMD, he just led with it.
And that's exactly why we are diving into his Q3 2025 earnings call remarks today. LifeMD operates in the virtual care and pharmacy space, which means they are, well, perfectly positioned.
Or perfectly battered.
Exactly. Perfectly battered by the GLP-1 weight loss revolution, depending on which quarter you're looking at.
It is a chaotic arena. You've got technology, medicine, and just this intense regulatory and pricing competition all colliding. LifeMD is right in the thick of it.
So our mission for you, the learner, is to quickly pull out the core strategy LifeMD is laying out for 2026. The goal is simple. How does this company plan to exploit two massive simultaneous market shifts?
Which are the sudden collapse of branded GLP-1 prices and the whole industry's pivot toward high-retention specialty virtual care.
Okay, so what was the foundation for this? How did Q3 actually look for them?
Well, the CEO confirmed solid Q3 results. That's the baseline. Telehealth revenue was up 18% year over year, and their adjusted profitability, EBITDA, was up by a pretty significant 30%.
So they're stable. They're adding subscribers.
The foundation is stable, yes, but Schreiber was very clear. He said while Q3 was a success, the real excitement is in the important foundational steps they took.
Steps to set them up for an exceptional 2026. He's basically saying, we survived the storm, now here's our plan to dominate.
Right. That stability just gave them the room, financially and operationally, to do the cleanup they needed and plan their expansion.
Okay, let's unpack those foundational steps. You said cleanup, so what did they get rid of to focus purely on healthcare?
The first big move was shedding non-core assets. They divested their majority interest in a company called Work Simply.
And the goal there was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, he stated it clearly. LifeMD needs to operate as a pure-play virtual care and pharmacy company.
Pure play. I love that corporate phrase. It basically just means ditching everything that isn't being a doctor's office in an app.
That's it exactly. I mean, it helps the balance sheet, sure. But the big thing is it lets them put 100% of their focus and resources on their core platform. And that's just critical when you're about to enter these hyper-competitive new specialties.
And that focused energy is targeting two massive new verticals. The CEO seems to think these are their next-gen revenue engines.
He does. Those are women's health and behavioral health. And he didn't mince words. He projected that these two areas could each become 9-figure businesses over the next 3 years.
Wow. 9 figures each.
Yeah.
That's a bold target. It says a lot about the market demand they're seeing.
And their confidence in their model. But that kind of growth, it needs serious operational muscle, which brings us to really the centerpiece of the whole 2026 strategy, their pharmacy.
Right. This was the big operational milestone.
A huge one. They secured regulatory approval for their non-sterile 503A compounding pharmacy.
Okay, so let's pause there. For you listening, what exactly is a 503A compounding pharmacy? Why is that a piece of jargon we need to get?
So think of it as their own in-house personalized medicine kitchen. It's a pharmacy that's governed by state boards, and it lets them customize medications for specific patient needs.
Like combining different active ingredients into one pill.
Exactly like that. And when LifeMD brings this in-house, it just dramatically expands their ability to produce these personalized medications at scale.
So it's about control. But what does it do for the bottom line?
Oh, it's transformative for the economics. When you're relying on third-party partners for these compounds, your margins just get crushed.
Right.
By bringing it in-house, they get significantly improved economics. We're talking reduced COGS cost of goods sold and much better gross margins. It really is the engine that powers their whole personalized therapy strategy.
So if we pull this all together, the pure play focus, the new 9-figure verticals, the in-house pharmacy, the CEO laid out 4 clear pillars for 2026. What are they?
They're very clear. 1, accelerate high-quality growth in weight management. 2, scale women's and behavioral health, specifically built around synchronous care.
We'll come back to synchronous care. What's number 3?
3 is expanding and diversifying their men's health platform, RexMD, using these new personalized compounds. And 4 is launching a robust, unified LifeMD platform and marketplace.
Of those 4, Which one feels like the biggest immediate swing for 2026? Is it the tech platform or the GLP-1 stuff?
It has to be the GLP-1 acceleration. I mean, that market is being fundamentally reset right now. Schreiber even admitted the last 2 quarters were challenging because of the competition.
Yeah, he said they were getting hammered by what he called low-cost and in many cases low-quality compounded GLP-1 marketers, offering prices they cannot and will not match.
So they were playing the long game, betting on quality and clinical rigor. Their big advantage was being one of the few virtual providers fully integrated with both Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly.
They knew the big brands would eventually have to drop prices to broaden access.
And that bet just paid off massively. The CEO used the earnings call to announce major price reductions that were active as of that morning. It just pulls the rug out from under the low-cost compounders.
The numbers are pretty staggering for self-pay patients.
They really are. Through their Novo Nordisk deal, LifeMD is now offering Wegovy and Ozempic for just $199 for the first 2 doses. That is a 60% reduction from what patients were claiming.
60%, that's huge. That moves it from an aspirational drug to something actually accessible for a lot of people.
And even for the higher ongoing doses, the price drops to $349 a month. Still a 30% reduction.
And Eli Lilly's right behind them.
Yep. Their Zepbound multi-dose pen is expected to start at $299 for the lowest dose, going up to about $449 for the highest.
So we're talking about the real high-quality branded drugs.
The very ones the compounders were trying to mimic.
And now at prices that are dramatically closing that gap. But the biggest catalyst he talked about wasn't an injection. It was the pill.
This is the moment that could truly reshape the industry. The oral Wegovy pill is expected to get FDA approval in late December, with commercial availability hitting in early January 2026. And LifeMD will be one of the first to offer it.
And the pricing on that oral drug is, well, it's almost unbelievable. He cited public remarks suggesting the lower doses will be around $149 a month.
But just think about that. $149 for what the CEO is calling the most effective oral weight loss drug ever approved. And the clinical data backs it up. The trial showed patients lost an average of 15% of their body weight.
And beyond the cost and efficacy, switching to an oral form. What does that do for adoption, for the size of the market?
Well, it removes 2 of the biggest psychological barriers, right? First, the fear of injections. A lot of people just won't do needles. A daily pill is easy.
It normalizes it.
It completely normalizes it. And second, that cost. $149 a month is suddenly comparable to a premium gym membership. It feels like an everyday chronic care medication, not some luxury treatment.
And as the CEO framed it, this combination of the pill and the price drops will fundamentally broaden access, accelerate demand, and reshape the GLP-1 landscape.
With 130 million eligible Americans, they see this as their chance to become the dominant virtual destination for high-quality long-term care. They can finally undercut the low-quality competitors on their own terms.
Okay, let's pivot to the engine that enables all this personalization. RexMD, their men's health platform. How did that look in Q3?
It showed really strong momentum. It was a big contributor to their subscriber growth. The big success story was their personalized ED medications.
Where they combine things like sildenafil and tadalafil.
Exactly, into a single personalized compound. And the demand has been exceptional. Those personalized formulas now make up a full 25% of all new ED prescriptions on the platform.
Which, again, circles right back to why they needed that new 503A in-house pharmacy.
Precisely. They're proving the demand is there, and now they need to service that demand profitably. Right now, they're using a third party, but the plan is to bring most of that in-house in early 2026.
And the motivation is purely financial.
It's to meaningfully reduce COGS, improve gross margins, and, control the entire patient experience from start to finish.
They're not just stopping at ED, though. They're moving on hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, too?
Right. HRT demand is robust, and they've already expanded men's HRT coverage to 35 states. But the diversification is the key. RexMD is broadening its portfolio into behavioral health, weight loss, even dermatology.
All enabled by that new compounding pharmacy.
Exactly. It ensures every new product line can have a customized high-margin option.
Now, what's fascinating here is, what about the early signals from those 2 big new bets? Women's health and behavioral health. They aren't making money yet, but what are the early metrics showing?
The CEO said the initial engagement metrics are incredibly promising. Things like click-through rates, acquisition costs, they're all mirroring the trajectory of their most successful categories, like ED and weight loss.
So the demand signals are flashing green.
They really are. It indicates they picked the right specialties to jump into, but, demand is one thing, retention is another. He spent a lot of time on their retention strategy.
They're not trying to be a one-and-done transaction platform.
No. Their view is that retention is driven by four things: a great product, great patient care, transparent pricing, and a critical fourth one, a top priority for 2026,
Which is?
insurance enablement.
Ah, that's the big one. That's the lever that moves them from a cash-pay virtual pharmacy into a long-term, stable virtual health system.
Exactly. And you can see that in how they're building out the women's health offering. It's all focused on quality and clinical depth. They're putting together an exceptional advisory board of national leaders in hormonal health and menopause.
And how is that care delivered? You mentioned synchronous care earlier.
Right. So synchronous care just means real-time interaction, a live video or phone call with a clinician. Women's health patients get flexibility. They can choose a bundled cash pay program, or they can use their insurance to cover those synchronous visits, labs, and any branded meds.
So the in-house compounding is there to fill the gaps, not replace what insurance covers.
That's it. It provides affordable access to therapies for hormone optimization, sexual health, things like that. The CEO is aiming to build the highest quality, most comprehensive women's health offering in the country.
Okay, and what about behavioral health? How is that psychiatry offering structured?
It's a hybrid model. Most patients start with a synchronous face-to-face consultation with a psychiatric provider for that initial assessment.
To ensure quality and safety.
Right. Then they transition to asynchronous message-based care for ongoing medication management. It's that combination of high-touch initial care with high-efficiency ongoing maintenance that he thinks will make it a powerful, durable growth engine.
Which brings us to the final piece of this whole puzzle. The technology. You can't have all these distinct verticals without a platform that pulls it all together seamlessly.
And that's the long-term vision, building the leading integrated marketplace. They're putting significant resources into launching the core functionality that knits all of this together.
What does that actually look like? A new website, a new app?
Both. A comprehensive relaunch of the website and mobile app planned between now and early Q1 2026. The goal is so patients can effortlessly participate across multiple care programs.
So you could be getting ED meds from RexMD and also be enrolled in a behavioral health consult, and the app handles it all.
Exactly. It'll also integrate their pharmacy offerings and in-home lab testing, which they said they'll announce a partnership for early next year.
So what does this all mean for the listener, for the patient? It sounds like the tech upgrade is really an experience upgrade.
Absolutely. It's about removing friction. The goal is to make LifeMD a true virtual care destination, a place where you can seamlessly move between cash pay and insurance, choose synchronous or asynchronous visits, get any kind of medication you need, all in one integrated app.
The CEO believes that level of integration is what will set them apart.
He does. He said it will meaningfully differentiate LifeMD, deepen patient relationships, and serve as a key driver of sustainable growth. It's a bet on integration and quality winning out over just being the lowest cost provider.
That is a staggering amount of strategic movement. So let's quickly recap the three big shifts that are driving them into 2026.
First, the strategic shift to a pure-play specialty care model powered by that new in-house pharmacy. Second, leaning into the branded GLP-1 price drops and the new $149 Nijon pill to outflank the low-cost competition.
And third,
the commitment to building that unified, high-retention platform with insurance enablement as the anchor.
it's a clear strategic choice. Compete on quality, on scale, and integration, not just on price.
A choice that's really only possible because of those price drops.
Indeed. Which leaves us with a final thought. Based on what the CEO said, if the most effective oral GLP-1 ever approved really does hit the market at, say, $149 a month, that price point just shatters historical barriers.
The question then becomes, is 2026 the year this whole thing shifts from a simple price war to a battle for quality and retention?
Right. If the best oral weight loss drug is that affordable, how quickly does the virtual care landscape consolidate around platforms offering real longitudinal care, not just medication access? What happens to the low-cost compounded market then? This raises an important question.
I think the consolidation would be swift. Why would you risk low-quality care for a small discount when the branded, clinically backed option is barely more expensive and comes with a whole care platform?
A compelling thought to sit with. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive into LifeMD's ambitious strategic pivot. We encourage you to continue exploring the implications of these price wars and tech integrations in virtual care.